urologists, ranking number 1, followed by film and video editors, anesthesiologists, assistants, judges and magistrates, and phone operators coming in 5th.
Fox's Hillary Barsky. Amazon asking a federal judge to dismiss the Federal Trade Commission's antitrust lawsuit against it, claiming the agency is attacking policies that benefit consumers and competition. The FTC in 17 states filed the complaint, accusing Amazon of inflating prices on and off its platform and stifling competition. I'm Lee Silasera. This is Fox News.
Live, I think now, on the Kip Capley Show. My name's Kip Capley. I'm your state representative if you live in the 71st District. If you didn't know that by now, God love you. I'm joined by the man, the myth, the legend, Lawrence Sutton, and also the Giles County Rattlesnake, Chris Morris. And we're back in the booth on this beautiful Monday afternoon.
Kind of cool Monday afternoon.
It's a little chilly.
Hey, I like it, though.
Shout out to Striker.
Shout out to Striker Steakhouse.
Right off the bat.
Right off the bat.
Go get you good food.
Get you something good to eat. Take your family over there for a nice meal. Great service. Good food. Shout out to Striker Steakhouse.
That's right.
Get over there now. Right now.
So, something came up over the weekend. We had a report card.
Report card.
Oh, yeah. It came out yesterday, a matter of fact.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was a report card that came out on our state legislators and our state senate.
Yeah.
I wonder how the Kipster did. We need to look up Kip, and I went and had to look him up.
Yeah.
And it seems like that Kip got an A. He got a 92.
92, baby.
As a matter of fact, I think there were only like 3 legislators ahead of you.
Yeah.
Now, one of them was Clay Doggett. Now, Clay Doggett has been strutting around like a
Banny Rooster.
Like a Banny Rooster boy.
Barn lot.
He thinks that he is the cat's meow because he got a 96 when Kip got a 92. Now, we're trying to figure this one out.
Yeah, I haven't figured that one out either.
Hadn't figured it out at
I'd
all.
like to have a conversation with somebody.
Yes, absolutely, because I just don't see how Clay got a 96 and the Kipster only got a 92.
I mean, I love him. I love him to death.
But how do you get above you when you root for Alabama?
I don't know.
I mean, that should take away your Tennessee card. You know how you have cards?
Yeah.
I mean, doesn't that take away your Tennessee card if you root for a team out of Alabama?
My best friend lives in Birmingham. He's a big Alabama fan.
God bless him.
And I just pray for him. That's all I can do.
Yeah.
Well, I don't understand these guys being these Alabama fans because I don't think Alabama should be in the playoffs.
Uh-oh.
Let's bring it on now.
Well, I mean, last time I checked, Florida State was undefeated.
And look at Georgia.
And Georgia?
Georgia did a terrific.
And Florida State didn't get in?
No.
Florida State didn't get in.
Undefeated.
Undefeated?
Yes, sir.
The Seminoles?
Yes, sir.
That's right. Amen.
Did not lose a game.
But Alabama did.
Lost a game to Texas.
I think there's a little payoffs going on there with Brother Saban.
Yeah.
Clay, are you helping donate to the cause?
I don't know.
That's a good question.
I don't know, but
I'll get him on here and ask
hey,
him.
listen,
That's right.
Florida man should get that. I mean,
if
you go undefeated, you should.
What's the point of winning all your games?
That's kind of what I want to know.
I mean, me and my buddies talked about this a lot. What's the point of winning all your football games?
That's right.
You just
and it's not like Florida State has Florida State has an easy competition. I mean, they play hard competition.
They played I think they played 2 SEC teams or 3 SEC teams this year.
They always play the Gators. I mean, that's like a given.
Yeah.
You play the Gators.
Since you brought up the scorecard, and I think we need to pat ourselves on the back a little bit.
Pat ourselves?
Yeah, we have been telling everybody that we have the most conservatism anywhere in the state of Tennessee.
That's right.
Yep.
We've been telling people. Now the chickens have come home to roost because I want to tell you, Clay did score number 2, 96. I don't know why Kip or Clay or even Todd Warner wasn't number 1.
Well, Todd was 95.
And that's where I'm going with this because Clay came in second. Todd Warner came in third. and Kip came in 5th out of the top 5 in the state. That's something to be proud of. Lawrence County, I hope you're listening.
Yes,
Wayne
sir.
County,
Yep.
a little part of half of Murray County. I hope
sir.
you guys are really listening. And Kip, you replaced a state rep that was in there last year from Murray County.
Oh,
Scott
Sapicki.
Sapicki was
Yeah.
in there. Now, you know,
Well,
the
Sapicki.
Kipster came in.
Well, Sapicki lost his. To me, he lost his gun card, his man card, and everything else. I'm just going to put it out there. I don't want to go out too far, but
I'll drink on my sun drop on that.
yeah,
Lord,
drink on it. But
Well, maybe he learned his lesson.
I would hope so. But you know who else? And it's not shown on your list, but he scored an A also.
Jody Barrett.
Jody Barrett.
Shout out Jody.
Shout out to
they did.
Jody.
You know,
he did.
He did.
And that's,
And got an A on leadership too.
that's right.
Yep.
You're scored in several areas. He got an A's. There's a whole lot of folks who got some D's and F's.
F's. Not
me
Kip.
tell you.
Kip got straight A's.
Hey, we're out here going to class, doing the right thing, showing up.
Oh, I just
trying
got
to
a
do it.
text from Doggett. He said he trained you well.
Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord.
No. Oh no.
Oh, Lord.
That's below the belt, right?
I'm telling you. We're
But
going to
hey,
Clay may need to move back to Alabama.
have to get him over here, son. He's going to have to get on the show.
He doesn't have the cojones to get on here with us.
Oh, man. Clay Doggett has been called out.
are you issuing
Oh,
a challenge?
I'm issuing a challenge because I talked to him earlier
Challenge
today.
has been laid.
I talked to Clay earlier today, and Clay, like we discussed, was strutting around like a banty rooster, like, yep, I got a 96. Clay only got a 92, and I said, well, come on, you need to come on. We need to brag
We mean
about this.
Kip only got
Yeah,
a
92, yeah.
Yeah.
So, Clay's like, I'll get back with you. I'll let you know if I can come in Monday or not. Well, that was like 6 or 8 hours ago. I think you should have had time. I think he's
buddy.
chickening out.
Well, he's been supposed to get back with me for 2 weeks. I got a little dusting to do.
Lord have mercy.
That's right. That's right. But hey, shout out to all, but especially Kip
Yes.
and Clay and Todd Warner.
Yep.
We're proud
Jody
of
Barrett.
Thank you.
Hey, what?
And Jody. And
what about Joey Hensley? Big Joey
that's where I'm
Hensley.
going
Joey,
into
baby.
the Senate.
That's right.
Was he number 3?
Number 4.
Number 4.
But I'm just kind of disappointed because I think he should be number 1.
I do too. I don't know how they got that number, but I
Some
would
of the-
tend to agree with that.
Some of the, of course, I had to check in on myself, just to kind of see where I was. Some of the things that they, it's opinion based, of course,
Right,
their
okay.
opinion. And some of the legislation that they docked me some points on, I would disagree with their assessment of my vote, but that's okay. I mean,
Okay.
And I've looked into some
That's
of
all right.
this, and I'm thinking, man, that'd be harder in some other areas
well, I mean, you look at the
because you've been straight up conservative.
Well, yeah, and
yeah.
You look at the big one for the group that we're talking about. It was the expansion of the TDOT and the roads. The big infrastructure
The toll
road.
road.
Yeah, the big infrastructure road bill that we had, and I'm a free market guy. And as far as I'm concerned, if you want to pay, a few dollars a month to take a different lane to go a little bit faster, I mean, go for it. If you don't, guess what? You don't have to. And also, accompanied with that, too, each one of my counties, and I can't remember the specific number for each county, folks. I just, if I told you I knew it, I'd be lying to you. But it was like, I think Lawrence County got $3.2 million or something.
TDOT fund.
Yeah, for our state roads in Lawrence County, and Wayne County got a chunk, Hardin County got a chunk, Murray County got a chunk. And if that bill didn't pass, we weren't going to get that money. So, I mean, that was kind of part of the plan, and I looked at it, and like I said, I'm a free market guy to the core, and again, if...
You're trying to say that bill had some tentacles.
Yeah,
Well,
I mean, it was not a. It's not a toll. It's not the thing was like, oh well, you're forcing the tolls on us. And we talked about this at the meetings and stuff.
Right.
Going around talking to folks.
It's an express lane.
Exactly. It is a choice.
Pass. It's your choice. Just like we need to have school choice.
There you go. So it's a very similar situation. If you want to drive in this lane and pay a couple dollars a month, you can choose to do so. If you don't, guess what? Don't.
It's sort of like this. It's like going to the car wash.
Yeah.
You go to the car wash and you can pay, and you get the ultimate wash. You can pay $15 or $20. Let's
Yeah, 20. Yeah.
Or you can get a monthly fee and pay $28 and go every day if you want to.
All day long. You can go twice.
So,
yeah.
That's sort of kind of comparing an apple to a core. Apple and apple.
Right.
And, it's the same thing. But I will say this. Man, I've been a victim of circumstances this weekend.
Uh-oh.
Of the interstate system.
Oh, Lord.
And especially I-65. Thank God in Birmingham and Montgomery, they have come way out with 3 lanes.
Right.
Buddy, between Tennessee and Alabama, from the Tennessee Kentucky line on 65 to Mobile, I'm not sure if they don't need to put 4 lanes north and 4 lanes south.
It's ridiculous.
But they sure need to mandate these truckers.
I'm telling you.
Getting over and especially when there's 3 lanes, getting in the hammer lane, as I call it, the most fastest lane, and just blocking everybody.
Yeah, and they'll do 65, 70 miles an hour.
And we've got to move over law.
Well, it's not enforced.
But they don't. I mean, nobody cares.
Right.
Nobody cares. You get. I set my cruise. And I never touch it, and then I get so mad that
you set it on.
I said on 78.
Okay.
I'm going to be honest. When it's 70.
Yeah, there it is.
I said on 78.
There it is.
I mean, listen, it don't matter. I'm breaking the speed limit at 70. I feel like the speed limit on the interstate needs to be moved to 75 or
80.
But I've got people past me at 100 miles an hour.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
If you get on the interstate, and you're not doing a minimum of 75, you're going to get run over.
You're going to get run over.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. 100%.
I said on 78, and yesterday I watched my speed as I'm gravitating around people, and then when I get past them, I'll move over when it's clear for me to move over.
Right.
But you got to watch these people who get over in the slow lane.
Yes, sir.
And they think they're in the NASCAR 500, and they dog it, and they're trying to get around everybody. And if you move over and they're moving over, you could have a problem.
And I'm telling you, motorcycles, God love them. Some of these crotch rocket bikes,
they're crazy.
Oh, it's dangerous.
Yeah, they're doing like 120, 130.
Yeah. I've been.
They get on the shoulder.
And 2 weeks ago, where was I going? I was going to Nashville, or might have been 3 weeks ago.
You were going to Knoxville.
Yeah, going to Knoxville. Yes, sir. I was going to Knoxville for a football game, and I was probably going. I was going every bit of 85. I mean, I was getting it.
Oh, he was
trying to get there. And, man, I had a bike put me in the dust. I mean, I'm talking about fly by me. He had to have been going 130. I mean, he just absolutely, it was just, boom, just like that.
But, the crazy part about it is if you change lanes at the wrong time, they're going so fast that you're not even going to see them.
Oh,
that is correct.
Yeah. They're gone. There's no.
Yeah,
they're gone.
You're not walking away from that.
No. No, you're done. You might as well just hang it up.
Another one bites the dust.
Yeah. So always look for what's the bumper sticker for look and save a life. What is it?
Yeah, look and save a life. But when you're going 130 on the interstate,
it's a little different.
Even if you're doing 80, you don't have time to see that.
No. Oh, absolutely.
It's just a glimpse.
It is. Yep.
Yeah.
It is.
Try standing still. And even watching somebody throw a baseball at you at 60 miles an hour.
Yep.
Because that's the difference you're talking about.
Yep.
And see how fast that gets up on you.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, yeah. You're exactly right.
But, hey,
you're exactly right.
Laying all cards on the table, I feel like Tennessee and Alabama, y'all need to we've got the fastest growing area in the United States between Nashville and Huntsville. You know, Huntsville is now Alabama's largest city.
Yeah, that's right. That's crazy.
It's crazy.
It is.
And
when I moved here, it was not that big. I mean, it was like 125,000 people.
You know,
or something.
Mobile, Montgomery, and Birmingham were all ahead of it.
Absolutely. This has all happened within the last 10 years.
I mean, this is quick.
Need to bring up something, with the radio station WDXE, Toys for Tots.
Toys for Tots, baby.
Need to bring in your toys.
To the radio station.
To the radio station,
to
yes.
The WDXE station, Toys for Tots.
I mean,
when does that end? Is it tomorrow? When do they start? Is it all week? What is it?
I think it's all week, but I'm not positive on that.
Just bring them on.
Just bring them on.
Bring them on.
They will find it.
They'll take them. We'll find them.
Charlotte and Maddie.
Charlotte, they'll find a spot.
They'll get out here and find a spot for somebody.
Absolutely. Bring the toys.
What a blessing it is to have this radio station and the people that run the radio station here.
Absolutely.
I mean, they do so much for the community, and a lot of times people don't even realize the things that they do.
That's true.
I mean, how much money did they raise for cancer, Kip? Do you know?
Oh, it was, I think it was over like $15,000, something like that.
Yeah, $15,000 to raise money for people with cancer in our community.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That insurance and other things don't cover, and they did that to bring the money in.
That's right.
You were involved in it.
Shout out to WLX. I mean, they work really, really hard for this community. They really do.
They do. So I mean,
absolutely.
We're just blessed.
We are.
To have this radio station, and we're blessed that they'll give us a microphone and put in front of us.
That's right. These three crazy fellers in here, and they give us a show and everything.
I know, and we're not even Democrats.
I know, which is crazy, right? I mean, the way the media talks, everybody needs to be, I guess. But
it must be. You know, I heard something the other day, and I want to ask you guys something, and this is halfway serious, but a president needs to have at least 3 qualities to be an effective leader. Okay? A president has to be feared.
Sure.
They have to be respected.
Yep.
And you can get away with this and not necessarily have this, but it's good to have it, and they have to be loved.
I was going to say loved. Yeah, that's a good,
And by the way, that's kind of funny because in order to be a good father, to be a good father has to be feared. They have to be respected. And you really want them, a good father wants to be loved.
Sure.
But let's bring this out, with the president that we currently have. And
what president?
Listen.
The sleeping one.
Yeah. The guy that doesn't even know where he's at. But this guy definitely is not feared. He's actually being made fun of.
He's mocked.
We're being mocked.
Globally.
Sure. We are being mocked even.
We are.
So he's not feared.
No.
And if they're mocking you, they don't respect you.
No.
So that leaves the love part, but I don't see any love. You know what? I'm not being facetious when I say this.
Sure.
When I was traveling in Alabama this past weekend, I actually saw on a car a Biden-Harris sticker.
Okay.
Now, I say that to say this. When is the last time you guys seen a Biden-Harris sticker? I mean, you're in Nashville a lot more than I am, Kip. But, I mean, when's the last time have you guys seen I'm going to tell you, I hadn't seen a Biden-Harris sticker for at least a year.
Well, in Giles County, we got about 5 yellow dog Democrats that's got them on their car.
Okay, but I don't see them. I mean, I'm just not seeing them. That's what I'm saying.
Now, I tell you what I did. I've seen more Bernie stickers than I have Biden stickers.
I have too. But I'm saying Biden-Harris stickers.
No.
So but yet you got more votes than Barack Obama. I see more Barack Obama stickers than I do Biden-Harris stickers.
I would agree with that. Even now. Yeah.
And we're dealing with not even 8 years. It has been 11 years or 13 years since he ran. If you think about it, he was president up until 2016. But he ran in 2012.
2011.
So 11 years. You got 11 years. So that means that the car is at least 11 years old.
Yep.
And I see more Barack Obama stickers than I do Biden-Harris stickers. And you're going to try to convince me that
Biden won the election.
That Joe Biden won the election. Not only did he win the election, but he got millions of more votes than Barack Obama ever did. And by the way, Donald Trump, and everybody knows I don't make this. I'm not a Trumper. Mm-hmm. Will I vote for him? Probably. Okay, definitely if it comes down to him and Biden, I am. But Trump even got more votes than Barack Obama did. Mm-hmm. What does that tell you? I mean, am I missing something here?
No. When I went to Arizona for work not too long ago, our Uber driver, when he picked me up from the airport, and I was just kind of chatting with him and stuff. And of course, you never know when you get into an Uber with somebody how they are. And
what you gonna get?
Yeah, I got like a 30-minute car ride, and I don't want to lead off with like, "Hey, are you a Republican?" And then them snap back with like "No, I'm a Joe Biden loving," married my first cousin. He's a guy. Conversation, had to sit there in silence for 30 minutes. So I'm talking to him, and he's saying some things, and I'm like, I got a pretty good read on this fella. He's got to be a Republican for sure. There's no way. So I just asked him. I said, buddy, what are y'all doing over here? He said, what do you mean? I said, can you tell me why Trump lost over here? He said, Trump didn't lose over here. I said, what are you talking about? He said, man.
Neither did Kerry Lake.
He said, I promise you, as sure as I'm sitting here and God's given me the ability to drive today, he said, I did not. And this was Scottsdale. So, I mean, we're in Phoenix, Arizona.
And Scottsdale, for people who don't know, and I do know the area very well because I had business out there, and I used to go out and play in baseball tournaments out there.
Okay.
Scottsdale is like the Brentwood of Nashville.
Yes, sir.
It's like the really nice,
very ritzy,
yes.
oh, yeah, high cotton for sure area. And because I told him, I said, man, I looked on the map, and I said, y'all went Biden. He said, no, we didn't. And I was asking him about it. He said, I have seen more Donald Trump signs, stickers, and flags. He said, when I go and drive through neighborhoods and drop people off, he said, I'd never see a Biden sign.
Right.
Never. He said, people were standing on the street corner with signs that said, we want Trump material, because they couldn't get enough of it. And you going to tell me Arizona went for Biden? That's just one guy, but I mean, he drives a lot. So Uber driver.
Right. Well, you were there.
I was there. I seen a bunch of Trump stickers.
Did you see any Biden-Harris stickers?
No. I seen some pretty cool Trump flags, too. One guy had it was a black Trump flag, but it was Rambo, and it had Trump's face on top of Rambo holding the M60. It was a pretty cool flag.
Yeah.
Now, that flag has been out, by the way.
I had never seen it before.
Yeah. There's one of them on the tank as well.
Oh, okay. Well, that's a pretty cool flag.
It was. So I'm going to take us to another area that, and we have talked about Israel a lot.
Yeah.
And we've talked about Palestine a lot. Mm-hmm. So I went and did some research because that's just what I do.
Okay.
And I want to put to bed, to rest, everybody that's listening to my voice, that if you think the people of Palestine are an actual country and the people of Palestine were a country, I want to put this to rest. So here's what I want to discuss. So Abraham, and that's who God originally gave the land of Israel to, was to Abraham and his descendants.
Yes, sir.
Was around 1800 BC.
BC, before Christ.
Yes, so 1800 years when this was done. Mm-hmm. So Moses was around 1400 BC. Okay.
400 years
after. Okay. When God again gave the land
to the Jews.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and this is where we had our 12 tribes, and the 12 tribes were given all of this. Okay?
Oh, Lord, something popped in my mind, but go ahead.
All right. Does anybody have an idea when the Quran was written?
You would have to tell us.
Yeah, I don't.
Okay. So the Quran was written in the 7th century.
Okay.
Around 630 to 650.
Okay.
AD. So it was written about 2,500 years after Abraham.
Okay.
And 2,100 years after Moses.
Okay.
But here's the crazy part.
All right.
I'm going to use the
book
Quran.
has gotten sideways.
I know.
Yeah, he's
I had
flipping
to.
book,
I had to. So if you see here, I had to write to get all my notes, and I had to go
You
sideways.
have got notes in about 12 directions.
I do. I have 3 different verses
Okay.
in the Quran, and I'm going to give them to you. Surah 5, verse 21.
Okay.
Surah Al-Isra 17:109, and Surah 26, verse 59.
Okay.
All 3 of those verses, and I am going to read it directly from a Jordanian imam and what he said.
Well, explain what a Jordanian imam is.
Please.
Okay, so
You're above
Jordan.
my pay grade.
Okay, so Jordan is north of Israel.
Yes, sir.
Correct.
It's a country.
Okay,
Yes,
it's
sir.
a country. It's an actual
It
country.
is.
And most people believe that the people that they say are Palestinians are really Jordanians.
Okay.
Okay? So here's what this imam, and his name
An imam is
a spiritual leader.
Okay.
He is the guy
for Islam.
for well, not just for Islam, for whatever mosque he is over. So he's kind of like a pastor of a church.
For a mosque, though.
For a mosque,
Okay.
but for a mosque.
Got it.
And he is actually also, not only is he head of his mosque, but he's also a religious scholar for a university.
Okay.
And he says this in these 3 verses. He says, "Indeed, I recognize their sovereignty over the land. I believe in the Holy Quran, and this fact is stated many times in the book." And this is what what it states in the 3 verses that I gave you. He says, "O people, enter the holy land, which was assigned to you. We made the children of Israel the inheritance of such things."
So it's in the Quran that the children of Israel
Wrote in 700 and the 7th
AD.
century, or 650 AD. Even the Quran, going back 1,400 years, is stating that the land was given to the Jews.
to the
To Israel.
Israelites.
And he even went on and stated this imam did. He says that I assert that Jordan is the true land of the Palestine. And he says that most Palestinians, though, prefer to be Israeli citizens and not in Jordan because of how well the country is ran. So I want to start putting this stuff to bed because God clearly gives Abraham the land 2,500 years ago. He re-gives it back to to Moses and the 12 tribes when they came out of Egypt.
Yes, sir.
But to even take it a step further, even the Quran recognizes this. And I'm going to tell you another thing. Most people, have you ever noticed that nobody, Egypt, Jordan, Syria, nobody's wanting to take these people, these Hamas people, or the people of Palestine? Have you noticed that? Matter of fact, they are blocking their borders
To keep them from entering.
keep them from entering. So,
I wonder why.
I wonder why too. Because here I'm going to tell you, I'm going to take you to another, and you can look this up. Everybody can go online.
Fact
I
checking.
trust you. I'm just buckling in my seat.
Yeah, we're along for the ride.
Yeah, I know, but you can fact check this.
Fact checking.
There's a guy by the name of Amir Safati, and he is actually ex-Mossad,
Okay.
and he's a Jew,
All right.
but he's a Christian Jew.
Okay.
Okay. And the IDF, now if you don't know who the IDF stands for the Israeli Defense Services or Fighting Services.
Okay.
Okay. Reported by the IDF, and this has not been put out in the mainstream media because what I'm about to tell you, they don't want this out.
Okay.
But this, you can go look it up. and you can find out in some of Israel's papers and things, that more than half of the Israelis that were killed in October the 7th after the wall was breached were not killed by Hamas, but they were actually killed by the Palestinians that came in after Hamas. Now remember, everybody's saying you're going in and killing the innocent people. You're going in and killing the innocent Palestinians. That there is a difference between Hamas and Palestine. Okay?
So you're telling me there is none?
There is none.
They're one and the same.
That's correct. And that's the reason Benjamin Netanyahu got on and said that we are going to destroy, we are going to completely eliminate Amalek out of our land.
That's evil.
It is extremely...
It's the descendants of Esau.
It is extremely evil what they did. I wanted to, before I said what I did, because what I just said is very inflammatory, okay? But I want people to understand that not only can we prove it into the Bible, but we can even go into the Quran and prove that that land belongs to Israel, and Israel alone, and they have even given it up. I mean, it was given up in 1917 when we had the, oh gosh, I'm trying to remember the name of it, the Balfour Doctrine. When the Jews started going back into the land. We discussed this last Friday.
Yes.
Okay? So I'm telling you that everywhere we look, this is so evil because people are not believing the truth. And this is what I'm giving you is the truth. As a matter of fact, Palestine did not even have a president or any leader until the 1994 Oslo Accords, when Palestine was recognized as part of being Israel. 1994. So before 1994, there was no recognition even in... I'm telling you, this is why your history is so important in understanding it.
It's true.
Before 1994, before the Oslo Accords...
29 years ago.
Right. Before the Oslo Accords, or after the Oslo Accords, has Palestine been recognized as even being halfway part of a country. So, people, I'm telling you, go look this up. Go fact check me. Everything I'm telling you is things that I have really looked over and I have studied. And I tell you what it comes down to, guys. In 2 Thessalonians, it says, and this is
what chapter are you in?
Chapter 2, verse 11.
Okay.
And for this cause God shall send them a strong delusion that they should believe a lie. And that doesn't come down just in Israel. That's coming all over. Like it's a lie that a man can be a woman and a woman can be a man. That is a delusion. If you believe that, I'm sorry, but you are of a reprobate mind and you have been given over to delusion. Because I do not care. 1,000 years from now, you can go, if you're a man and you change yourself into a woman, 1,000 years ago, or 1,000 years from now, when they dig up your bones and they run a DNA test, guess what you're coming back as?
If you were a man, you're going to be a man.
You are a man. There is nothing you can do to change that. There is nothing you can do to be a man, and then I don't care if you get the parts or not. You're still a man, and you are not going to be able to have children.
They don't sell them parts at O'Reilly's.
No, they do not.
I can tell you that.
Have you looked?
Or Advance.
Have you been looking?
No, I haven't.
Are you sure?
I haven't been looking. I have not. I'm just telling you, they ain't got them.
They don't have them. So, we have all these college campuses. And by the way, I don't know if you guys seen this even. I mean, now we're going down a rabbit trail here. Okay. I'm sorry, but...
I mean, why not?
You've seen what's happened is we've had one of these three people that were head of these colleges has resigned.
Wow.
They brought in Harvard, they brought in University of Pennsylvania, and MIT.
MIT.
And I think the lady from the University of Pennsylvania
has
resigned.
And the one at Harvard is on the hot seat.
Oh, yeah, they all should go. If you can sit there and say that, if somebody's talking about wiping out a race, okay, and I'm a person that's not big on hate speech. I'm just going to tell you.
These are on-campus protests.
That's correct.
Mm-hmm.
Where everybody will understand.
Yes. Thank you for clarifying that.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you're doing that, and again, I'm not big on hate speech. I believe we have the freedom of speech, okay? But if you are going to take one side and say that one side can't have free speech but the other can, that's when I have the problem. Mm-hmm. Okay? Oh, yeah. If you want to be stupid, you can be stupid.
Sure.
You can be wrong.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's okay to be wrong,
sure.
even.
Yeah.
But when you start suppressing speech for one and not the other side, then that's when I personally have an issue. Now, I'll just say it. Do I think these people should have to resign their job? No, but I don't think they should have had their job to begin with. I mean, if you're that dumb,
yeah.
If you're that dumb and you can't say that the calling for the annihilation of a race,
of an entire race,
is not hate speech based upon your definition of what you've allowed on your campus for other things, you have no business running that school. You're too stupid to run that school.
Think about it. Think about if that was any other group of people other than the Jews.
Absolutely.
If it was any other group of people other than the Jews.
If you'd have said anything else, if you'd have said Indian, if you'd have said Asian, if you'd have said black, what do you think would have happened?
You'd have been a racist.
Absolutely.
They'd be burning down we'd have George Floyd 2.0. Which that's a whole different situation.
That's a whole new other situation.
Whole different deal we're not going to get into. But it would be, they'd be right if it was anybody other than the Jews. It's literal. They're literally calling for the extermination of an entire race of people.
Yes.
And God's chosen people.
Yeah.
And again, and I will say this, the Jewish state is really not about race, it's about religion.
Yeah.
Because you have white Jews, you have black Jews, you have Hispanic Jews, you have Arabic
Asian Jews.
I mean, it's like when people sit there and they'll make the comment because of the things that I say about Islam. Well, you're a racist because what you say about Islam. No, I'm not, because I'm not talking about a race. I'm talking about a religion.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
I mean, one of the people that I listen to is from Lebanon. He's a Lebanese, Christian Lebanese. And I listen to this guy every week. So you can't say I'm a racist.
Yep.
I mean, but it's what the belief system is and what the belief system holds.
Yep.
You mentioned something earlier, the scripture out of 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 11.
Yes, sir.
You know what's wrong with this country today is we will believe a lie before we will believe the truth.
Yeah.
And if you try to tell the people the truth, they get mad.
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy.
Oh, yeah.
But that's what I'm trying to tell you guys. There's a couple of scriptures for that. Jesus says that when you're telling them the truth and they don't want to hear the truth, don't even wipe the sand off your sandals when you leave. Okay, that's the first thing. The second thing is, and I'm going to tell you this.
That's kind of funny.
It is.
But I've never heard that before. That's kind of funny.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, Jesus says, don't even wipe the sandals off the mat.
Don't even waste your time.
Just don't. Yeah.
He also says, do not throw your pearls before swine.
Yeah, I've heard that one.
Before the hogs.
Yes.
I've heard that one.
So, we have these, but if you are at this point where you believe a man can be a woman or a woman can become a man, if you believe that it is okay to get an abortion, that you are not killing a human being, I'm telling you right now, if you think you're a Christian and you believe some of these things, you better go check yourself. You better get in your Bible and you better get on your knees and pray.
You going to the wrong church.
Yes.
If that's what you believe, I'm just here to tell you.
And I will too.
And I'm not a holier than thou kind of feller, and I don't believe I'm better than anybody else. And
no, because we got these great big huge logs in our eyes.
We're not.
Them
we're
big
not,
splinters.
Yeah, I ain't. I'm not saying I'm better than anybody else, but if you believe those things, you need to take a serious look at yourself and your church community for sure.
You do.
And as Christians, we're supposed to hold each other accountable too.
That's right.
So
iron sharpens iron.
You see a brother failing, you need to.
You're supposed to pick him up by the nape of his neck.
That's exactly right.
And
Snap
get him on
back into action.
straight and narrow.
That's exactly right.
You know, that's what you're supposed to do.
That's what we're trying to do for these Democrats out here, and they won't listen to us.
That's right.
I'm telling you. Tie it back in, baby. We'll tie it back in.
Is it because they have a reprobate mind?
Well, I think that's part of it. I think the other part of it is we've got a lot of politicians that, especially on the Democrat side, that are in it for
activism,
profit and activism. They're in it for financial gain. They're not in it for the right reasons. And y'all have heard me say this, and I know Clay feels the same way. As long as I do the right thing, I don't care if I'm in the newspaper. I don't care if I'm on the radio. I don't care if I ever make it on TV. It doesn't matter to me at all. I could care less. But I'm there to do the right thing and go home.
And nothing else matters.
And you're not supposed to do anything else.
That's
I don't think. I mean, but you get into these guys that, like you said, try to be activists. And it's you can't be an activist and be a legislator at the same. That doesn't work.
They don't mesh.
No, it just doesn't work. There's no professionalism in activism. I didn't mean to use two isms back to back, but it happened. But you can't be professional.
Go for three isms.
Yeah, well, I know a couple of them that got some isms, but anyway, you can't. I mean, you look at Jones that's got all these felony charges and everything else, all these charges on him, jumping up and down on a cop car and breaking stuff.
13 to 14.
And that's I was having a conversation with somebody the other day. And they were talking to me about him, and I'm like, y'all don't realize how awful these people are. Like, you see them on TV, and you see their little press conferences they do, and the national media makes them look like they're just the best thing to ever happen to Tennessee. But I'm telling you, when you get them one-on-one, they are the most hateful. I mean hateful people you have ever talked to in your life. They are miserable to be around.
And then to top it off, you've got number 4 coming in.
Yeah, we got another one on. I mean,
Afton Ben.
Yeah, Ben something.
Yeah, but you're going to lose Gloria Johnson, though.
I hope so.
I mean, can she run both Senate campaigns?
She can run both
buddy.
sets.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Think about Andy Ogles. He was running for
mayor and Congress.
County mayor in Murray County in Congress.
Same time.
I thought Sheila Butts was running, and he didn't run.
Yeah, she did.
She did afterwards.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
That's correct.
Yeah.
That's correct.
There's a little gap period there.
She was a very good legislator too.
Yeah, she did a good job. I talked to her today. Shout out to Sheila Butt. Yeah, I talked to her today.
Great.
So I say that to say, everybody ain't what they seem to be. I'll say that. I mean, Pearson cussed me like a dog when we were leaving special session. Cussed me like a dog.
And he's supposed to be some type of
preacher,
minister, or something.
Cuss me like a dog. And
you didn't invite him outside?
No. I mean, first off, because I wouldn't. I really would hate to have to do that to him.
I mean, he weighs maybe 140 pounds?
Yeah, I mean, that would.
He has no business cussing you out, is what I'm saying.
No, well, yeah, I mean, it would be a
because
waste of my time to hell, excuse my language, I'd break him in half. That wouldn't be nothing. But and it was out of nowhere. I never said 5 words to him. And they're awful. I'm telling you, they are terrible.
They're Looney Toonies.
Mm-hmm. Nuts. Stark raving nuts.
It's sad. And then you got people who follow these nuts.
Oh, yeah.
They donate to these nuts.
Now you know how people follow the Antichrist, don't you?
That's right.
I mean, if you can follow people like that, where I mean, here in Tennessee, I'd say 70% of the people in Tennessee couldn't stand them.
Yep.
Right.
But you get somebody like the Antichrist, when they say most people will love this person, they'll love this man.
Somebody wrote a song. If you'll fall for anything, the country song. I'm trying to think.
You're talking about Aaron Tippin.
Yeah.
You got to stand for something.
Stand for something.
Or you'll fall for anything.
Or you'll fall for anything.
Yes,
Yeah.
Aaron Tippin.
Well, there's a whole lot of people that don't know how to stand.
That's right.
And they fall for everything these stooges or thugs are putting out.
Yeah.
If you hadn't heard this by now, I'm fixing to break some news to you.
All right.
You can't believe everything that you hear or see on TV or on the radio.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know if folks back home know that or not, but they'll lie to you. I mean, just flat.
That's shocking.
Just flat lie to you
Yeah.
and not even care.
Yeah, I know my dad always told me, he says, believe nothing you hear and only half of what you see.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
So, I agree with that, and that's the reason when we give not only our opinions, but we're giving you facts. I want you to fact check me.
Yeah, please.
Because I want you to know the truth. The truth will set you free.
It will.
That's what God says.
That's exactly right.
And I want you to be set free. And if I'm in error, I want it pointed out to me.
Yeah.
I mean, I really do.
100%.
So,
Hey, and I've been wrong. I mean, I'm wrong. I've made mistakes. Things have happened. I don't ever want to come off as being holier than thou or, trying to put myself above anybody. I'm the first one to admit that I'm not perfect. I've made mistakes and everything else. But, I mean, there just comes a point in time. It's honestly kind of pitiful that we have to sit here and talk about that there's two different sides of an argument of people wanting to genocide a whole race.
I know.
And
I mean, what are we I mean, really, what are we doing?
The other thing that gets me
Is
is
that not-
these people who are pro-Palestinian
Yeah.
don't even know what they're pro-Palestinian for.
I mean,
that's my whole point.
That's exactly right.
The word P is not in Aramaic. It's not in Aramaic.
in their alphabet.
No, it's not. They cannot say Palestine because there's no P. So, really? Yeah. I mean, I'm telling you the
Lawrence has
absolute
done his
truth.
homework.
Oh, yeah, I've done my
Shout out
homework.
Striker Steakhouse. One more
Yeah,
time.
another shout out.
Go get you something to eat for Strikers. When
Now-
is the Toys for Tots thing over?
The thing
We'll figure that out in a second.
The thing that bothers me is Yemen
Yep.
is getting fed from Iran, and they're firing on our ships, and they're firing on cruise liners. I'm talking about cargo ships.
Yes, sir.
I didn't mean cruise liners, but
Yeah.
cargo ships in the Dead Sea coming through that strait.
Yeah, guess where they got the money from to do this?
Hunter Biden's backdoor deal with his dad.
Oh, no, well, what do you guys forget about Barack Obama?
Oh, yeah.
They gave him $6 billion
$6 billion.
in cash. In cash.
I'm still waiting on my money.
From U.S. taxpayers.
Well, no,
still-
actually, the money was money that was taken in Iran back in like the 1980s and stuff.
But he gave it back to
He
them.
gave them back to it, but then we turned around. It's kind of funny. On September the 11th, we turned around and released over $1 billion back to Iran. Were you guys aware of that? I've talked about it a couple of different times.
Real quick, Lawrenceburg Elks Lodge still taking Toys for Tots. Toys for Kids under 12, new and unwrapped. Last day is December the 15th.
That's Friday.
Elks Lodge. Is it Thursday or Friday?
That's Friday.
That's Friday, and
That's
then
Friday.
But they will also here though too.
Friday.
Until
Yeah.
the 15th.
We'll get them there. Somebody will at some capacity. So
That's
Toys for Tots,
That's
baby.
Maddie's job.
there you go. Toys for Tots. Toys for Tots. Shout out Strikers. Keep going.
Okay, keep going. So, I figure we'll go down a little bit of rabbit hole on our money
Okay.
and what's going on with our money.
You giving some out or?
No, but our government's giving out a whole bunch of it.
Again?
No, not again. So, do you guys realize on a dollar that when the dollar's printed, it is issued as an instrument of debt? Okay, if you go look at your dollar, it's an instrument of debt to settle a debt. Mm-hmm. So let me ask you this. How can you settle a debt with a debt instrument?
With another debt.
Right.
Yeah, you pay for debt with debt.
But see, that's my whole point that I'm
Debt on
trying
top
to
of
make.
debt.
yes, sir.
That's my whole point I'm trying to make. As of 2020, we had $15 trillion of money in circulation.
Okay.
As of right now, we're up to $21 trillion today. So if you want to know...
In 3 years.
In 3 years. So you want to know where inflation is coming from, there's one of the things.
Printing more money.
Printing more money. But here's the scary part, and this is what I want people to understand. We're in a mess.
Deflation.
That could happen. But we're in a mess, and that's the reason, Kip, I think it's so important that we start getting on you legislators.
Oh, yeah, we need a state bank.
Not only do we need a state bank.
State currency.
Bad.
We need a state currency. We also need a 10th Amendment nullification.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I agree with that for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, 100%.
And here's why. Do you know what our government debt is?
32.
It's over 32 trillion.
Yeah, 33 trillion.
30 something. Yeah.
So if the U.S. government's 33 trillion in debt, but there's only 21 trillion of money in circulation.
Oh, we're upside down.
Oh, it gets worse. Guess how much household debt that we have as a household, and when I'm talking household, I'm talking credit cards, homes, cars.
Now, are you talking about the debt that it would take for each U.S. citizen to pay off the national debt?
That's correct. Everything. No, not the national debt. Our debt that we
like
have,
a
like your
debt.
credit card, your
household.
your car payments.
Does mortgages, do they count?
Mortgages count in this too.
Oh, God.
Car loans, mortgages,
It's got to
student
be
loans.
average. It's got to be 400,000, right?
Well, it's $17 trillion total.
Oh, wait, huh?
Yeah, we owe as a collective people.
Oh, I thought
Of the United States. No, I'm not talking about an individual person. I'm talking about it collectively.
That's what
No, I'm not.
That's what I thought,
I'm not,
too.
because I'm trying to get you guys to understand what's going on with our money supply and what's happening with inflation.
Okay.
Okay. If we only have 21 trillion in circulation, and 1/3 of that was added since 2020, but yet our government's 33 trillion in debt. Our household debt is 17 trillion. And oh, by the way, let's talk about global and corporate debt in US dollars. Guess what that is at? We're at $65 trillion there. So we're at $115 trillion in true debt between corporate, government, and household.
And personal.
I've thought about this, and this is going to sound, this is going to make me sound like an extremist, but, the country might be 32 or 33 trillion dollars in debt, but who's going to come collect that?
Well, here's the crazy part. Most of the money is owed to the Federal Reserve, which is not part of our U.S. government, by the way.
But I mean,
it's a bunch of bankers.
Who's going to come collect it?
It's not the fact that it's come and collect. What's happening is, though, and because of the interest rates being raised so much, at least on paper, they have to show this debt being paid down, or at least the interest rates being paid down, which means they have to print more money, which means more money gets into circulation, which means you're paying off a debt with a debt instrument. You see what I mean?
I understand what you're saying.
Are you understand what I'm trying
now.
to tell you?
There it is. Okay.
Remember, I used to be an investment banker, so I'm trying to put this
That makes
out.
sense now. Yeah.
Okay, so we have 115 trillion in debt, but there's only 21 trillion
In circulation.
So what are you going to do to pay off all this debt without causing massive inflation? And see, this is where we have a death spiral where all countries, by the way, when you're dealing with fiat currency, and the U.S. dollar is a fiat currency, for people that don't understand, we got 2 minutes. Fiat currency is currency that is not backed by anything.
That's correct, because we're not on the gold standard anymore.
That's correct. So every country that's ever had a fiat currency has always gone to zero. Okay, it's always gone to zero. Now, there's still some out there that hadn't gone to zero yet, but it has. Okay, so we have been, since 1940, we had a 40-year cycle of interest rates between 1940 and 1980 going nothing but up. Okay, then between 1980 and 2020, we had interest rates going nothing but down. Since 2021, we've had interest rates that have gone up in the last 2 years higher over a 2-year period than ever in the history of the world.
Right.
Not even the United States, the history of the world has gone up. this cost of service on this debt, on this for our interest rates, guys, I'm going to tell you something. Here's the easiest way I know how to explain it. If you have a $10,000 in credit card debt and you have 20% interest, you're paying $2,000 a year in interest. Okay, but when interest rates go down, then borrowing becomes cheaper, and that's what everybody's done, including our government. So if your interest rate is 2% and you borrow $100,000, guess what? You're still paying the same $2,000. Okay. Now we're in a situation where interest rates are going up again. Okay, so that $100,000 that you owe now instead of $10,000, if it goes back up to 20% in interest rates, you're now paying $20,000 and not $2,000.
Shout out to Striker Steakhouse. Go get you something to eat. Get the Toys for Tots stuff done. Go to Kip Capley for State Representative on Facebook. Hope y'all enjoyed the content today.
W237 FD Lawrenceburg. Broadcast services of Prosper.